Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for Moss Talks, where we have more conversation and more culture. I'm Joel, co-founder and creative director for Moss Magazine.
And I'm Sydney, co-founder and editorial director of Moss Magazine.
Today I want to talk about a little bit more about personal style, Sydney. Like me personally, like being a guy that likes to work out, go to the gym, and just be like kind of loose. I enjoy athletic leisure. That's just my thing. Do you have like a specific thing you always looking for when you go shopping or when you going out? Not just doing your normal routines.
I mean, before it was, hoodies, sweatpants, leggings,
Mhm.
especially like in college. But now, since I'm a big girl, I have a big girl job, I'm trying to find my personal style, but I'm actually really struggling. And I also don't like to shop. So,
From my experience shopping with you, that's a lie. I'm gonna say that. That's a lie. Yeah.
what?
hmm You've proven that you do indeed like to shop. I think it's just a matter of how you perceive shopping. You don't like the time spent during shopping. You
Yeah,
don't
and
like you
I
don't like
also I have to be in the mood and in the
mhm.
mindset. And I can also get overstimulated very easily.
You don't like the experience, but you like finding stuff. So
Yes, I like walking out with bags, but I don't like having to look for it and search
mhm.
for it and then try it on and then put it back and then try it on a different size and then stand in line. But
That's
I don't like online shopping because I have to try stuff on. I wear so many different sizes. So,
so you're in a real pickle. Let's say that you're in a real pickle because Black Friday is, let's just say, ruined.
oh my
And
God. I went to Target on Black Friday and it was just to get some stuff. Like I wasn't actually Black Friday shopping
Mhm.
and the line was way too long. And I was like, oh
Really?
my
But
goodness.
this past Black Friday?
Yes, it was, when you go and you enter,
Yeah.
you go straight down back to the produce. It was past the produce and like near the food aisle. That's where the line started.
Maybe I'm a bit out of touch with this Black Friday because I didn't go out because I was like, nobody's gonna be out, nobody's gonna be doing anything. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, I would say my personal style, well, it used to be like through church and through like just things my family did. I did have like a lot of suits growing up through high school, then leading into college. Then like eventually I grew out of it, so I have like two or three suits now, but I need to re get them tailored again. But my personal style, I like I really like how I say. Not really. It's not really expensive clothing, but looking expensive, I'd say. Like I have the button-up shirts, the nice tailored pants, some good shoes, a nice watch. Nothing crazy, but that stuff can be done on a budget. But like, I like feeling well or looking well kept, I'd say.
How much does quality matter to you in your clothes?
Quality matters a lot, like especially with like a button-up because that's my number one. Because with cheap button-ups like white button-ups, people have probably seen this a lot where like you get a button up and like it's like so thin you have to wear an undershirt.
Mhm.
And like I want them to be like thick enough to where they can't tell whether wearing an undershirt or not. Well, I'll be wearing one, but either way, you can't tell. But quality matters, but with certain things it comes with a price. Like in terms of shoes, you don't have to get the nicest shoe. Like there are really some nice budget options. Like for shoes I bought, they've been like from Rack Room and stores like that. But quality matters. But if you have the money, spend it. If not, then just kind of you can you
Mhm.
can you can ball on a budget.
Yeah, I think I'm like now since I do want to be more intentional with my
Mhm.
clothes, I'm trying to look at quality more because I know they'll last longer. But that also means I can only buy like one or two or three things at a time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's really about
Yeah.
like staples I can kind of just always use.
Yeah, that's
That
that's a
makes
key
sense.
thing also like when growing up. Like buying things that you can kind of hold on to for a little while. Like when you especially a good reason why winter fashion is so easy because winter comes around, you buying long sleeves, buying sweaters, and 9 times out of 10, if you're not in like growing stage, those are gonna be back for you around winter time. Then same thing
Hmm.
for winter, for other seasons, but winter is a big one for me because I know when I go winter shopping, I'm more intentional because I'm like, this is the coat that keeps me warm, but I also like the way the coat looks. This sweater keeps me warm, but I also like the way it looks. And then it just kind of falls in that category. And so for me, like with winter, suits become more accessible. Sweaters become more accessible. All the things that add layers to clothing become easier for me.
So, do you like shopping?
It depends. I get overstimulated too, but it really depends on, I say it really depends on the, this is a bad word, but vibe and aura of the store that I'm going into. Like, and plus it also depends on the price of the store. Like Target, I'm not shopping at Target for what I want. Not 9 times out of 10, they don't have what I want.
What stores have a good vibe and what stores don't?
Well, it also depends on which region you live in, but in the Carolinas, um, as of right now, Ross is a good look because Ross has a lot of options. Yeah, judge me if you want to. It's not really the vibe also of Ross. Ross has the prices. So it's like it's like when you go to McDonald's, you know you're going to McDonald's for a McDouble. You're not going.
I've always hated Ross, even growing up. And I think for me, I don't know, I don't know if it's like just too much in there or if it's the lighting or what, but I've always like
Yeah,
hated Ross. But I like TJ Maxx. So I think it's
yeah.
maybe more so the colors in there.
I I agree with that. TJ Maxx is good, but in terms of men's sections, Ross has more options than TJ Maxx does. If I could mix, if I could put Ross options in TJ Maxx, I would say TJ Maxx, but Ross has better options than TJ Maxx when it comes to clothes for men.
Mhm.
Trying to think where else, 'cause I really don't be going to places like that anymore. It used to be H&M. Like H&M used like my H&M used to have some deals. Like the men's section used to be overflowing with stuff that was marked down 50%, 40%, like from the following season. So like I'd rack up on that. But then
Also,
it's kind of like,
I also feel like H&M has had the same clothes for the past 2 or 3 years
that's
now.
another thing too. That's what I was saying. Yeah, H&M is really it's like how brand owners how they buy their blanks. Like they have like the blank hoodie and then it's like the logo on top of it. H&M has a hoodie before the logo. And so like it just that's when it became really disingenuous for me because it just felt like, oh, this doesn't really feel this doesn't I don't say it doesn't feel, but it doesn't give off on it what I want it to. Like you can buy some good pieces from H&M, but
Mhm.
it's not one thing that's going to keep your wardrobe intact.
Mhm.
But it really I guess it just depends on the store because like I said, Ross is better for the options, not better for the vibe because my Ross, the line is always backed up, and I hate that. I really hate that.
Yeah,
But TJ Maxx is okay. Um, I use most of the time I check out the women's section. Sometimes when it comes to H&M, I used to, but H&M, like I said, it's very on that it's on that line of like being for teens and then also being like overly like trying to be too fashiony when they're not. They
mhm.
don't really have that credibility, I say.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Well,
it
in
caters
my
more
eyes, they
so
don't
to
have the
like,
credibility.
I think it's more so like 18,
Hmm
19, 17, 16.
Yeah.
I think we're just too old.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. But speaking of stores, I just realized like one store I despise with a passion. CVS.
That's so random. That
I
they
know
don't even sell clothes.
they don't,
What?
they don't, but going into
How did that get into this?
because like, we bought up stores, but going to CVS. Oh, I hate CVS. It's just because the CVS down here, I don't know if it's how it is up there, but CVS down here, it has the doors, the folding doors, not the sliding doors, the folding doors.
Okay, so is Walgreens better?
Yes, 100 times better. But like every time I go into CVS, every time I go to Walgreens, I can't find an associate. Like I can never find an associate, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what are
because
you
they only need two people in the store.
exactly? But like, what are y'all doing? Like, yeah, nobody has touched anything on these shelves in an hour, and I can't find you. Like and plus, this is another thing too. CVS has added a self checkout. They need to banish that self checkout. That thing is horrid.
I like the self-checkout, but what annoys me is when it be turned off. Then you have
But
to find them to get checked out.
this is the question. Have you been to self checkout at CVS? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, all the time.
CVS checkout is no. They need to get it
In
together.
and out.
Huh?
In and out.
No. Mm-mm.
I do self-checkout everywhere except for like Target. Like if a line is short at Target, I'll actually go into the line and talk to the people because they're nice. And I feel
You
bad. I be feeling bad too. You have to catch me on a good day though.
You
It's
don't talking you talking to cashiers?
yeah, it's usually though like after work because I had to talk all day. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because like talking to a cashier is really a fun thing, especially when you kind of catch them in a good mood or like in like kind of a mellow state.
mhm.
Yeah, CVS is not making it into my top 10 CVS is like see it's gonna be that store when the apocalypse happens. It's gonna be open. I'm gonna hate going there.
Even though everything is free.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be the one person. I'm like, there's a Walgreens across the store. Be like, but we gonna die if we go across the store. But it's CVS. Why are we going to CVS? Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into Moss Talks. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with stylist Chi Ilochi about her styling experience. Thank you, Chi Ilochi, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you both.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So, first off, I kind of just want to ask, how did you become a stylist and, where did that interest spark from?
High school, actually. I've always dressed in a pretty eclectic kind of way. And a friend of mine at the time, we were past, like the bell had just rang, we're passing each other in the hallway. And she just said, have you ever thought of being a stylist? I can't remember what we were talking about for the life of me. I didn't know what a stylist was, but I said, okay. And I researched it and it's like, oh, this seems fulfilling. This seems like something I want to do. Um, and I found the power of healing, excuse me, the power of clothing, um, and dressing myself every morning and just the way it made me feel good. And I wanted to pay that forward. And I found that styling was the way to do it.
Since that interaction, like obviously you have like you started doing things that, or you already were doing things that made you feel good, like you said, find different clothes, find different articles of clothing. How would you say your personal style has evolved through those years?
I'll tell you guys a joke, never tell you a lie. There was a lot of misses. There was a lot of just experimenting because I just
Hmm.
could. I've leaned more into like structure, and proportion than just kind of doing things that are essentially all over the place.
Hmm.
Um, I've learned that less is more.
Hmm.
So I've kind of taken some steps back, removed the excess, and just kind of realized I didn't have to do too much to be who I am, even in clothing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
For someone who like myself, like I like growing up, I always thought like colors are the way to go. Like if you gotta have it color coordinated, like you gotta have red on red on red, or you gotta have these shades together. You gotta have it looking
hmm
like this. And so like growing up, it's like when you come of age, like you realize you're like, this don't look good. Like I look like a stop sign. This don't this don't look good. And so yeah,
yeah,
you have more knowledge than I do of that. But yeah, that's just my view on that.
a little monochromatic. It's all right.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta miss to make some.
For sure.
You mentioned, how you use styling to kind of like discover yourself and express yourself. So, I want to ask, like now, how do you use clothing to help other people express themselves?
I'd say I use it by reminding them that it is a tool that they have on their side. And I
Mm,
think sometimes clothing can be seen as something that's not a necessity. And granted, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot more important things at play, but it's something that can it's something you have already, and it's something that you can use in your power, and it's something that you can use to be resourceful, to make a difference. And just reminding them that your wardrobe is pretty good. You don't need the latest boot, you don't need the latest jacket, although it would be nice, but there's so much that you can do with what you have. And I
mm,
think that applies to where a person may find themselves in life. And that's where I try to intertwine both. Because yes, it's okay to have goals and to strive for more and do mood boards, excuse me, vision boards. And at the end of the year, I want to have this, but God is where your feet are. You're where your
Mhm.
feet are. And wherever you go, whatever you achieve, you'll still have debris that makes up who you are in the present moment. So you want to make sure you're content. And I think you can tell when someone's content in their wardrobe. It's so funny that now we look at ourselves on TikTok with the loafers and the 70s style coming back. And these were people who were resourceful. They were using what they had. Their clothing reflected where they were and what was going on in the world. And that's what brought our attention. That's what is kind of playing a role now. So just reminding them that the clothes doesn't necessarily make you, it adds to you. And you don't have to have a crazy wardrobe to look stylish, just like you don't need the newest car to be worthy. So it's just reminding them that worthiness is in your perspective and in your skill to adapt and conform to what you think wholeness is. So I try to do that the best way I can through clothing, and just encourage them that maybe thrifting is a good way, doing a capsule wardrobe, just looking at your old pictures of yourself from the past, looking at how you style those pieces and just trying to find new ways to style it now.
Mhm. No, I think that's even more important now because I feel like with social media, everyone wants to like look the same or like hop on the trends, but it's like, no, you have to think about you, what your everyday looks like. Are you even gonna like those trends on your body? Like,
Yeah,
you just have to kind of just be true to you and find the clothes that work for you and like what you do in your body.
I
Absolutely.
see. Yeah. Is there a certain era of fashion you lean into or pull from?
There's so many eras.
I would say because
Uh,
like even like with like kind of our current state is like a lot of people pull from like are reminded of Kanye and just like how he was coming up, like his
mhm.
daughter, his daughter copies a lot of his fits. I've seen a lot of TikTokers that copy his fits. A lot of people are getting into
Yeah,
like because of Beyonce, a lot of people are getting back into Western culture. It's like, do you think there's a place like you kind of I would say you stay in, but kind of like you dip your toes into?
there's a style. I really want to call her a style icon. What's good? It's WUZ. G, I think it's a zero, 2 zeros.
Mhm.
And it's just it's like rejuvenating every single time I come across anything she styles, anything she puts together, and it somehow always tops the last one. Um, Wisdom K on like TikTok and everywhere, just because not even necessarily like leaning towards, but it's just like, wow, you can do so much with what you have. And seeing him like style something like, oh, skinny jeans are out. He was like, hey, I have skinny jeans. Look at how I style these olive, these different
Yeah,
ways. And I think both of them inspire me for different reasons. But the one parallel between the two is that they remind me that possibility is something that changes, and it's always available. So there isn't ever one way to do one thing.
Yeah, I follow both of them and just the way they see clothing, like it's different. Like they wear things in ways that you wouldn't even have thought of, especially Wisdom. Like
Yeah.
he's incredible, like he is creative when it comes to
Hmm.
styling. Are you inspired by any like art or film or like culture?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Music. Um, I read a lot. Sounds strange, but nature inspires me a lot. The people I'm surrounded with, artists from the past, be it like fashion or painting or contemporary. Um, it, yeah, I'll definitely say I'm inspired, like to answer, in short, yes.
So I'm curious about the nature part. Like, is it the seasons or is it like, just actually like going outside and like seeing leaves or like the stones or bricks? Like, what about nature inspires you?
It's all of it, but it's the color.
Hmm.
I think if you ever go outside and just look outside, it's really, really rich. And sometimes those colors can be used to style in the fall and in the winter. So it makes a huge difference for sure.
Okay. I didn't even think about
yeah.
that.
But okay, so we have another small segment we like to do. It's called Quick Fire. Basically, I ask you a bunch of questions, and then the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to say that one thing. So, first question: favorite color to wear?
I'd say pink. Ooh, I'd say pink.
You said pink. Okay. Favorite season?
Aw.
Fall. A brand you would love to work with?
Oh, that's a great question. Quasi paw.
Hmm.
I think we heard of that. But
Yeah.
go-to shoe.
To a photo shoot or in general?
Go-to shoe like shoe to wear.
Hmm. Sneaker or heel? I'm sorry.
It's totally up to you. Whatever you
It
think
doesn't
of.
matter?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Um, Right now, it's the navy blue. I wouldn't say navy, but they're like a denim Margiela tabby.
Okay, so coming back to number one, so pink is an interesting choice because I feel like when people talk about pink, it's really how I say this. It really depends on the shade of pink because when you go sometimes when I see people, this is me, when I see people wear hot pink, it's everything you see about them is pink. When you see like kind of a toned down shade of them, it's just like it's kind of like more like corporate wear, something that's really like businessy.
Hmm.
I'm curious as to what avenue do you think pink really goes into for you? Is it streetwear, business casual? Is it corporate?
Did everything.
Yeah.
I say streetwear.
hmm
I think because it's unexpected. I
Yeah,
think
I
when
would
we
say.
think of streetwear, we already kind of have certain colors in mind, like red or black or olive green or brown.
hmm
But I think if you throw like a sprinkle of like pink, like a pink cargo and maybe like a
hmm
brown hoodie, just kind of playing with that clash,
Yeah.
it looks better. I
hmm
think. I don't think I would come to a meeting though with like some pink slacks. Like it
It's been done
depends.
before.
It depends. I think it definitely can be done, but I don't know if I would lean towards towards that for me personally.
Mhm. That's fair. But fall for a season, I would say easy choice. Like fall,
Yeah.
you can honestly wear whatever you want during the fall. You can come out in shorts sometimes you can wear a sweater. Like fall is really just like it's just fun, honestly. Like it's not too hot, not too
Yeah.
cold. It's just
It's perfect.
yeah,
Hmm.
literally.
And the colors are just amazing.
But also shoes, tabbies. Have you heard about there's this thing that's going on TikTok where there's a guy that's stealing tabbies. Have you heard?
I did. I did.
I I need to read some more into the story, but I think that was just such a funny villain story because it's like people paying $100 for the shoe, like I'm gonna take it.
Man, my heart will be broken. But yeah, you know,
I said, there's one way to get your leg back.
that's for sure. That's for sure.
Okay, so I'm curious then, what's like your favorite item or like treasured item in your closet?
Can I do two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you sure?
Hmm.
So it's my nameplate necklace. I'm not
Mm.
wearing it right now, but and I like it's a new edition, but it's a ring. I'm wearing it right now. It's my late aunt. She passed it on to me, so I try to like incorporate it when I'm like
Yeah.
styling myself or dressing up.
No, I love that. And I love that they're both, jewelry pieces. I feel like
Mhm.
jewelry is like it's something you could like people do pass down and it becomes part of like your everyday, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I love like your the ring being passed out from your aunt. I think that's just so touching. I'm not wearing them
Yeah.
today, but I have two bracelets from my Nana that I always wear and like I just
Love
always get
that.
compliments on them. Like I just, and it's like anyone compliments and I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you about it."
Let me take you back to the beginning.
I
Yeah.
I think it's also like it's always interesting to ask people what their favorite thing is because some like most of the time it always ends up being an accessory. Like, it's not like they
Hmm.
have clothes they wear, but it's always like I think the accessories have more of sentimental value. Like half the time it's either like something their significant other got them, like a family member got them, a friend
Hmm.
got them, or like it was just something that meant something to them in their life. Like
Yeah.
I think kind of like getting a tattoo because you wear it all the time. So it's like it's always there with you. So I always try kind of picking it
Yeah.
up.
That's a good comparison. You ate that. Yeah,
I
that was
try.
good. Yeah.
I try. If you could style a dream client or project, who or what would it be?
SZA.
SZA?
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
interesting. I was say, why SZA?
SZA, she's gotten me through. She has gotten me through. The Control album really saved my life. And she's just relatable, just as a black woman in my 20s, just trying to navigate the journey of being in the 20 somethings.
Yeah.
She makes me feel seen. And it would just be really cool to just kind of work with her in that way and just kind of say thank you.
And that it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, and I feel like
Thank you.
she's someone that like plays around with her style a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah. She's not afraid to try something.
that's for sure. That's for sure.
If you're listening, go make sure you check out she's Instagram, all her work. Make sure you go check it out for real. Like she's really good at what she does.
She
Make
also
sure you support
writes.
her. Yeah, she also writes as well. So so check
Sorry.
her out. Check out every
Thank
tidbit.
you, Sydney.
I like how she found herself through style. And it was something that she was naturally just doing on her own, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And she didn't realize she was doing it until her friend was like, "Hey, this is going for you. Keep it up.
yeah.
Get into
hmm
this."
I think
Like
that's. No, sorry, go ahead.
it's just something that like was meant for her in a way and that she just was just naturally just exploring.
I think it's also something we should pay attention to. Like, I wouldn't say all the time we need to listen to these voices, but whenever someone or something tells us like to do something, we should kind of like listen to it. If it keeps coming around, listen to it because I think it's very important, especially like growing up. You're like, if you're hearing that you're good at something, like keep doing it. Literally, like I would say also styling is not easy because there are things I want to see other people in, but at the same time, it's like I don't like in my mind it works, but in reality, it may never work on them.
Everyone has their own color palette that works for like your skin.
hmm
Like have you seen that where like people like I don't know what it's called, but like you get matched to whatever your colors are and
hmm
like that would bring out your eyes or like your hair or the color of your lips.
Yeah,
So like that's also a thing to consider. And then like of course like body types, and then like heights and like proportions, and then also just like what the person's comfortable with doing. And then again, like how she brought up like what you do, a teacher isn't going to dress the same as like, I don't know, a girl in corporate. So
yeah.
there's like a lot of like unique factors that play into it, especially like when wanting to style other people.
Like for me, like we talked about earlier, like our personal styles, people like to get better, like business attire, like corporate wear, and I think I've been enjoying seeing some people kind of like I want to say cross the lines, like not wear anything outlandish. I mean, like some people wear like sneakers with their suits, or like some people wear sneakers to work, like up brand sneakers like Dior's
Yeah.
or some
Yeah, like
Jordans.
that's definitely acceptable.
hmm
But please don't wear shorts
Yeah,
to an
please, no, no,
interview
no, don't do that.
or micro
Don't
shorts to your
or
corporate job
anything
party.
that is personally revealing in any fashion, keep it at home.
Yeah, like still have some decorum. I think that's
hmm
also a thing that we need to go back to.
Yeah,
Or just knowing when and where. I think is more
yeah,
so important. Like you can still express yourself and wear whatever you
agree.
want, but also like know when and where you're going.
Yeah, because like also like that's another thing too. Like securing the job is so important because like again, like what you were to interview really well. I don't say it doesn't have a big weighing on what on your outcome, but it does play a part
I mean, it
because
just shows like you know how to get yourself together and like actually be professional, you know?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
important.
yeah,
Or
it is
just like
important.
when you go to a funeral, you're not gonna wear like a mini skirt,
Yeah,
you know? Like you're just gonna, you know, pay your respect, like be respectable, like dress in a respectable way, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
But yeah, that has been a great conversation with she again. Again, check her out on all platforms. Feel free to like this podcast, share it with your friends, share it with family, share it on all platforms on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and hope y'all enjoy the episode and come back for the next one.